and we're going to talk about the news today that everybody is seeing. If you follow Instagram, Class Disc on Facebook or Instagram, or follow Cool Daddy Disc Golf on Facebook or Instagram, we're going to talk about the 2023 Class Disc box. I don't know, I guess you could call it a holiday box. I'm not sure if it's a holiday box, but we're going to talk about it a little bit. And I've got some double steady wild honeys here. We can look at the different colors and discuss those if we want. But I wanted to kind of discuss these and get you guys' thoughts on it. And so I've got this set up here. So yeah, let me know in the comments if you have any questions. This is how I found out. So this morning I wake up to an email from Clash that says, we've got the boxes ready. They're set to release on December 8th. And we finally got the boxes ready to go. And what I mean by the boxes, let's see if I can bring this up, see if this works good. And this is what I mean by the boxes. So these are actual wood boxes from my understanding. Now, I don't have my hand on any yet. So we'll see. I don't know what they feel like. I don't know. But apparently they're supposed to be real wood according to some people's posts that I've seen and talking with them at Clash. It's really a unique box. What's really unique is that it isn't like, so some companies, and I get it, I'm sure I'll do it on Cool Daddy Disc Golf at some point when I get a lot of overstock in. But a lot of times you'll get these mystery boxes that are leftovers, overstock items, misprints, or molds that didn't sell very well or they overproduced. And that's all well and good as long as you know what you're getting, right? I remember the early days at Dynamic Discs. That's basically what we did with the mystery box. We would be like, what can we throw in there? Well, didn't we have a bunch of fugitives or whatever that didn't sell? Let's throw a bunch of those in there. And it was a good way to kind of, you can still get a premium quality disc. You're getting it at a discount price. But this isn't the case with the Class Disc box. And you can't call it a mystery box because they're telling you everything that's coming in the box, right? So it's going to be fantastic. Are the boxes wood? Now, Cameron, that's what I understand. My understanding that these are wooden boxes. Now, I haven't got my hands on one. I don't know yet. When will I get my hands on some of these? They're supposed to let me know by the end of this week. Hey, we're sending these out. I told them how many I would like to have, and we'll see if they can send those to me. So that's what we know so far. Now, let's talk about this particular discs that are coming in the box. Let's see. What we got is, let's go to, so this is going to be a Class, this is kind of their bar stamp. And I know a lot of different companies have that bar stamp, which is very simple, very clean. And it's just the name of the company here being the case, Class Disc. And according to what they sent, this is going to be a, let's see, it's going to come in various molds. And it's going to be, I can't remember if this one is the Sunny disc or not. Let's see what this says right here. Oh, this one is going to be a steady disc. So it's going to be a steady disc, but in the bar stamp, which hasn't been available for a lot of disc. I haven't seen it yet. So, Michael from Heatland Disc, a finished birch wood. So yes, it's going to be a wood box, which is going to make it very unique and very valuable, which is really cool. Going to be kind of a collector's item. But the thing that I like about this is that it is a clean bar stamp and it's going to be a steady plastic, various molds. I haven't heard exactly different molds are going to be available in. So, but that's going to be interesting. The next one we got up is the Sound of Disc Golf. And this is supposed to be sunny plastic. And again, in various molds, but in sunny plastic, which is people are really liking. Sunny plastic is a much stiffer plastic, which is great for wintertime. In fact, there's an interesting story that when they were making plastics, a lot of the testing they did was in Finland, which is, of course, cold most of the time. And a lot of times when they were creating new plastic, it was very cold. And so steady plastic feels good. It's a great plastic, but in the summertime when it gets warm, it gets gummy, which some people really like. Well, the sunny plastic is one that is as gummy as steady plastic. But this will be a fantastic. And the Sound of Disc Golf is So if a lot of people don't know, the clash comes from the name clash. It's basically the sound that's made in your mind if you think of the sound that you make when the disc hits the change, clash, right? And so they did have the tagline "Throw to hear it," and in Finland that translates good, right? But in America, "Throw to hear it," a lot of people are like, "Huh? Throw to hear it?" So they kind of got rid of the "throw to hear it," and now it's "Sound of Disc Golf." And so the marketing guy behind the names of the discs and the awesome pictures that you see on Instagram and then Sound of Disc really wants to evoke a feeling, right? So when you think of like cinnamon, you think of a taste, right? You think the senses, it evokes the senses. And of course, when we play disc golf, it excites the senses because you have a good time and stuff like that, to feel the plastic. So Sound of Disc Golf, that is clash. That's what that is. So it's pretty cool to see that tagline now being put on a stamp. And then next up we have, which is what everybody's excited about, is the double steady. And I believe this one is the double steady mint with that kind of only other thing I think of the shape is a flower, right? And so the double steady isn't an overmold. Overmold ish. That's now this is just my perspective and my explanation of it from having some of the wild honeys in the double steady. So that's what I'm thinking of it as, overmold ish, right? I have not had a mint in my hand. If you go to Iceberg TV, I believe he was sent an early box with some double steady mint. I think I can't remember. I know that Infinite Discs has double steady mint. I believe in their VIP box. I think I remember, if I remember correctly, right? What that was all about. So don't quote me on that. But the double steady, now as far as the double steady wild honey, I went out a few days ago and threw the double steady wild honey to create a review video that will be on my YouTube channel, Uncle Bobby Jr. Check that out. It was stable. It was more on the stable side of wild honey for me. Now remember, I don't have a big throwing arm, just your average to below average disc golfer. And that's how they threw for me. So I'm not sure how that's going to translate for the mint. They look kick butt when they throw, though, because of the colors and everything, and they look really nice, and the color combination is really good. And I'm gonna show you some of the color combinations I got. Those are available December 1st. The boxes are available December 8th, is what I'm hearing. Right. So the double steady mint. Let me know if you're excited about the double steady mint. I know I'm excited about the double steady. I'm curious to see what the masses think about the double steady, to see what's going on there. All right, let's see. Did it create? I'm trying to create a little poll to see if that works. I'm not sure if that's working for you guys or not. All right, so you look kick butt. Thank you, Garrett. I can always count on Garrett for the motivation. I do look like I'm kicking butt when I throw. All right, so next up we're going to talk about is we'll go over here to the double steady. I believe that's going to be, what did they finally decide it was going to be? Or cinnamon. So a double steady. Now, you have to understand it says either a mint or a cinnamon. Now, this is based on the marketing material that was sent to me so that I could make posts about them on Instagram and stuff like that. It's either going to be a mint or a cinnamon. So these are like super limited. Remember, we've talked about this where the double steady isn't going to be a regular production run plastic. I hope I'm not speaking out of turn when I say it was kind of a in between process, an in between, I don't want to call it a project, but an in between process where they were working on some plastics types or plastic processes that, wait till you see them next year, they're going to be great. But the double steady was kind of a, I don't want to say go between, but it was something they were working on, and it turned out really, really cool and really well. And a lot of people were like, you should make more of these. You should make more of these. And so they did, but it's not going to be regular production. That's what my understanding. Now, whether they'll change their mind on that, I don't work at the factory, but it's a limited run. And this is going to be either so you're either in the boxes, you're either going to get a cinnamon or a mint in the double steady. Now, my understanding, again, don't quote me on this. My understanding is that may even have some cookies in the double steady. I don't know how that's going to work. I don't know if that's a special thing they worked out with somebody or what. So we'll have to wait and see on that. So double steady cinnamon. All right, next up we'll talk about is the guava. Now, the guava is definitely something that's got a lot of people talking about. In fact, I know Scott Withers Let me know what your thoughts are about the Guava based on what you've seen 3 people throw footage. I know that Scott Withers has a couple of Instagram reels on his Instagram, Withers underscore disc golf. Check him out, where he talks about the Guava. And in the first demo flight or first demo throw, it flew super straight. And he was in his mind, he was thinking it was in between a berry and a mango. There's not much turn and not much of a crazy dump, he says. And then on a second video he posted, and I'm assuming he got to throw it a little bit more, he said he posted that it become his favorite new disc from the lineup of Clash disc, and he's loving the Guava. And I do remember he texted me at some point. He was like, when is the Guava coming out? Because I really like it. In fact, let me find it real quick. I know I have it. He was talking about, look at me name dropping. Oh, Scott Withers name dropping on the old live. Messages with Scott. Oh yeah, because he had posted about it, and then I was talking about it. I said, "Hey, how did you get the Guava about?" He says, "I looked it up and saw it was approved. Figured people had probably been throwing them. I hadn't gotten packaged in months, so I didn't even know these were brand new. He didn't even know the Guavas were brand new, and he was throwing them. And then he said, yeah." So he was just going on and on about the Guava because he had made that post, and he was like, well, I just was excited about it. So anyway, so cool stuff there. So that's the Guava. Let me know your thoughts on the Guava. Would you compare a Guava to Emac Truth? See, the clan, I haven't even thrown it yet. So I don't know. Based on the throws that Withers, I mean, the Emac Truth would throw pretty straight for me. I like the regular Truth better, the original Truth, just because of my lower arm speed. I haven't thrown an Emac Truth in forever. Sorry about that, Eric McCabe. But I don't know. That's interesting. As soon as I get the boxes, I'm definitely taking the cherry, the Guava, and the sage out and making some video reviews because I know a lot of people are going to be excited about that. So the next one we're going to talk about we'll talk about the cherry. Now this is a mid-range. Oh, we did wait. I know you guys like numbers, so just in case, the Guava is 5502. So some good glide, slower speed, good glide, nice and straight, not much of a fade. So it'll be interesting to see how it throws for me. According to Scott, he threw it and it was very straight for him. All right, so the cherry, this is a prototype, is a 5.5 negative 2.1. So according to the numbers, you guys know how I feel about numbers. According to the numbers, it's going to have a little more turn than the Guava. So it might be a great one for me for my throwing speed. Now I know that let's see who threw it. Iceberg TV got his hands on a cherry a few months ago. He felt it was pretty torque resistant on his first throw. And among the tester discs he got, which he got a few different tester discs about 6 months ago, the cherry was one of his favorites. He was thinking it would be a good for a hard straight throw in the woods. So I've never compared myself to the guy on Iceberg TV to know how he throws as far as compared to me. But I am very interested in the cherry as well. I've heard the cherry is between a berry and a peach, which is really nice because sometimes I'll admit when I throw the peach, I was like, I forgot the cherry can get, or the peach can get a little more understable when you throw it hard. And then the berry, I really need to throw the berry more, but it's nice and straight with the fade at the end. So it'll be interesting to see if the cherry fits in the middle of a cherry and a peach for me. So that'll be good. Emac Truths are the hard one. Declan says Emac Truths are the ones I have a hard time giving up. I feel you on that. They are great discs. They really are. So we'll see how the Guava fits in there. So the cherry, have you guys have anything on the cherry that you have come across? I've only seen Iceberg TV, and then I can't remember if anybody else had the cherry. I think maybe Elena had the cherry and said something about it. I don't remember. So last is the sage. Now this is the one that I'm looking forward to. I remember a while back when the guys from Clash came to America for the Disc Golf Pro Tour Industry Conference. And they were like, we've got to figure out something that a lot more people will throw and can get behind as far as a distance driver. And of course, everybody says destroyer. Everybody's got their own destroyer. Now, I know a lot of people, a lot of trolls are on there. It's just another destroyer. It's just yes, everybody has their destroyer. Breaking news, the destroyer is a great disc for Innova, and we all want that destroyer-like disc. That's what that's what when DD came out with the Raider, that was going to be our destroyer. So anyway, the Sage, I'm not saying it's going to be the destroyer, but it's going to be that distance driver that the destroyer thrower will like and appreciate. In between a honey and salt is what I've heard on the Sage. I am very interested in getting my hands on the Sage and throwing that. Again, I will be making a review video on that for sure. Why did the salt not fit into the destroyer slot? That's a great question, Declan. It was one of those things, for some reason, some people could really could get on the salt and get it to be a destroyer like, but some people couldn't. Now, there's one thing I had a pro say that I thought was interesting. He said the salt is a great for certain destroyer replacements, but there's just not everybody already has the destroyer. So why try something new? So I don't know if the Sage will be more like a destroyer. Now, remember, when you throw destroyers, a lot of times when you say, "Oh, I love the destroyer," the question is, do you mean like first run destroyers? Do you mean the Santa Cruz destroyer? Do you mean this destroyer? You know, it's like, do you mean a destroyer in this plastic or this plastic? So I want to see what the Sage throws like, so I can say to myself whether this is more like a destroyer. I almost feel like maybe getting my hands on a destroyer and comparing the two in a disc review. So I don't know. For some people, the salt is a great distance driver. It just didn't catch with a lot of the high power throwers as far as being able to consistently be a good thrower for them. And so we'll see if the Sage can fill that spot. So that's pretty much the rundown, right? That we don't have any more to talk about. So what I'm going to do is I want to share with you some double steady stuff. So this is double steady wild honey. This is a certain color. It's a little bright with this lighting, but this is an orange, kind of a dark red and an orange in the middle, which is really nice. And then I've got some purple and white ones, which is really cool. And even in it, I don't know if you can see, but even in it, it has little color variations, right? Which is kind of cool. Even here, you can see like a gradient color, which is really nice. And then there's a yellow and blue. There's a lot of yellow and blue, I noticed. I will tell you that on my site, I'm not going to have color choices. I'm not going to take pictures of every disc. You're just going to have to, well, I don't think so. I may end up taking pictures of every disc. I don't know. I mean, there's just so much different color variations. And then we have blue and red, which is a cool color combination. Now this is one. This is kind of like an off-white. You can't really tell in the camera. Off-white, light blue. And look at even in there, you can see some gradient color. That's so cool. Here's a blue and red one, but you can see the blue is a little dull blue. It has that little gradient in there, and that's pretty cool. And then finally a green and white one. Now this is even all the colors, because some of the colors are similar, but still have the gradient in it, so it makes them a little bit different. So yeah. The client said, I got Iceberg TV's double steady honey so good, mine is more stable, hoping the cinnamon double steady is more stable. Yes, that's what I thought when I threw the double steadies, wild honeys. My video review is coming out on YouTube on Monday, and I found it to be the same thing for me, is that they're a little more stable than I think the blue wild honey that I have, which has a nice, it's still good. It has a nice turn, and it'll come back. If there's a little bit too much wind, it'll keep turning. I've had that happen. But the double steady wild honey is so good about stabling up and staying straight, and then give me that fade at the end. All right, guys. So I thought I'd have a little bit of fun before the Thanksgiving weekend to talk about the box that's coming out for the double steady. Sorry, the box is coming out for Class Disc in the 2023 box. And yeah, so we can kind of discuss it. Yeah, so anytime I get news, I might do this as well on the Class Disc fan community group. Let me know. Thumbs up, give me a like or a thumbs up if this is something cool that you like to do, where you just want to talk about discs. And so anytime I get news, I'll just jump on here and do a live and we'll discuss it. So I appreciate it. So thankful for you guys. Thankful for the Class Disc fan community group. Thankful for customers of Cool Daddy Disc Golf. Thankful for Disc Golf. Hopefully you guys will have a great holiday weekend. And on a serious note, on a very serious note, if this holiday weekend you're feeling a little down, a little depressed, a little just not sure if there's anybody out there, send me a private message and let's just chat for a little bit. I don't want anybody to feel I can't invite you over for Thanksgiving dinner. But man, if you just want to talk things through, let me know, man, because I know that sometimes holidays can be, if you've got family and friends, fantastic. If you just are in a certain situation where you don't have that for yourself, you got me, and we can just talk about disc golf or whatever you want to talk about. So reach out to me on a private message if this holiday weekend feeling a little lonely, because I've had those lonely holiday weekends. But thank you guys so much, and yeah, price, Tommy, that's a good one. Real quick, price. I do have a price, but I'm waiting to see a final because they gave it to me in euro. So I want to see what the final pricing is going to be for the US, and I'll announce that when I find out. But I do know the box is going to be on the more expensive side because you're getting a very, very special box. Again, no misprints, no restock, no overstocked stuff. It's all unreleased and new prototype stuff. Cool. All right. We'll see you guys.